All right, today we're breaking down a really interesting proposal aimed at community organizations, one that introduces this idea of a local wealth cycle. We're going to walk through the FBC Family Business Circle's plan, using their own materials to see exactly how they claim it works.
So the FBC proposal kicks things off with a pretty direct question for anyone in charge of a community group, a church, a business. Where is your money really going? You know, it's one of those simple questions, but it's meant to make you stop and actually think about all those bills that just go out the door every month.
And they don't waste any time answering their own question. They hit you with this incredibly stark claim. They say, your organization isn't just spending money, it's hemorrhaging it. Wow. Right away, they frame everyday expenses not just as a cost, but as a critical, ongoing wound that needs to be stopped.
So let's dig into this idea of a money leak. The way they describe it, this isn't about those one-off purchases. No, this is about a constant, maybe even unnoticed, river of cash flowing out of the local community and straight into the pockets of big outside companies.
And what's interesting is how specific they get. This leak they're talking about, it's not some abstract concept. It's made up of things we all use. I mean, look at this list. Insurance, cell phones, internet. These are the bills that organizations pretty much pay on autopilot, month after month, without even thinking about it.
And the scale of this leak, according to them, is just massive. We're not talking about a couple of bucks here and there. The claim is that all this adds up to millions of dollars pouring out of local communities every single year. They're positioning this as a huge economic drain on the entire area.
Okay, so problem established. A massive financial leak. Now let's get to the fix they're proposing. It's a system they call FBC, the Family Business Circle. And it's supposedly designed to do one main thing: plug that leak.
So what is FBC really? Well, they define it as a system that's literally engineered to grab those dollars being spent on all those essential services. The whole point is to stop the money from flowing out and instead redirect it so it stays and circulates right there inside the local community.
And this is where the story they're telling takes a really important turn. The proposal isn't just about stopping a negative, the leak. It's about starting something positive, something they call a wealth cycle. This completely changes the goal from just preventing loss to actively creating local wealth.
This slide nails the core idea perfectly. I mean, look at it. On the left, you've got the leak with money just flying away. And on the right, the cycle, where those exact same dollars are caught and put back to work for the community. It's a simple picture, but it represents a pretty powerful idea.
So, how's it supposed to work in the real world? The source breaks it down into this three-step process. First, you figure out where all the money is going. Second, you start redirecting that spending through their FBC system. And third, that money gets recaptured, which is what they say creates that local wealth cycle.
But then, the proposal adds another layer to this whole thing, something they call the game changer. And this goes way beyond just redirecting money. It's about who actually reaps the rewards from the system itself.
They are really specific with their wording here. They make it a point to say this isn't a pitch, it's an opportunity. And that framing, it suggests this is something you participate in, something you become a part of, not just another service you buy.
So, what is this big opportunity? Well, here it is: ownership. The absolute key, the game-changing claim, is that the organizations that participate can actually own a piece of the FBC system itself. That implies getting a share of the profits and having a voice in how it's run. That's a totally different ballgame from just being a customer. So after laying out the whole thing, the problem, their solution, this ownership model, the proposal gives some pretty clear next steps for anyone whose interest is piqued and wants to find out more.
If you want to dig deeper, they recommend two things specifically. First, to go through a detailed PowerPoint presentation, and second, to watch their full presentation over at their website, familybusinesscircle.com.
So let's wrap this up. The FBC proposal pinpoints a money leak, offers a wealth cycle as a solution, and adds this unique hook of community ownership. It really leaves us with this one big question to think about. What does it actually take to turn a community's regular monthly expenses into a real, self-sustaining engine for its own local wealth? That's the core idea we've unpacked here today.